Like so many people are afraid to start over, and I feel it's more centralized to women. Starting over is a privilege. To many of us, being in a position where you can start over again and completely reinvent your life is a privilege that many do not have. Fear is normal when you're starting over. It is. I think social media is one of the platforms that has made comparison the thief of growth and joy. Like we're constantly feeling like we need to compare ourselves to other people. It's a growth period. It is not failure. Starting over doesn't mean you failed at something. Life is not a race. There's no shame in starting over. There's no shame in rebranding, reinventing, and rebuilding. The only shame, I think, for me would be choosing to stay stuck in a space that doesn't benefit you or serve you in any way, shape, or form. Let's talk about it. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. It is me, it is Katleho. Thank you so much for being here today. Thank you, as always, for choosing me over and over and over again. Now, this is a very, very important video that I just have thoughts, okay? This is a real talk video, and I want to share some of my thoughts with you because I came across a video as I was on TikTok. Listen, I genuinely feel like my TikTok algorithm is wonderful. There's times where it's really great, and then there's times where I'm just like, how the hell did I land up on here? But I want us to talk about this. So I really want us to have a very candid and open conversation about starting over and why starting over, especially when you are above 30, seems so scary and seems so daunting for so many people. Like, life happens, right? There's transitions in life. You change jobs. You maybe decide to go back to school. A relationship ends, and you're thinking to yourself, man, I've been in this relationship for 7 years, and now I need to completely redefine what my day-to-day life looks like. I need to completely redefine who I am. I don't feel comfortable doing this because I don't know who I am outside of the life that I've built for the last 7 years. Maybe you decide for a career change. Many of us go through different types of careers. And I think when you get to a point where you are, I'd like to say above 35, you realize that there is a huge possibility that your whole entire career could change. Your whole entire, the life that you had planned for yourself professionally could change because maybe your interests change, right? Maybe your interests change. Maybe you get bored, right? Maybe you find new things that excite you. Maybe passion projects end up becoming your professional life and end up becoming your career and things like that. And I feel like so many people are afraid to start over. And I feel it's more centralized to women. Women really find a sense of fear and inhibition to start over. There's this fear in starting over, but not only fear, there's a shame in starting over. And so when I was on TikTok the other day, oh, thank you for being here. Are we already started? Great. So when I was on TikTok the other day, I came across this video, which I think we need to talk about. These first two I'm going to play for you, and then we're going to talk around it, and then I'm going to finish it off with another one. But I really think it is important for us to have the conversation on starting over and to make sure. What I'm trying to do here is to make sure that you do not feel a sense of shame or fear in changing your life, or maybe deciding to work on yourself, letting certain things go, shedding certain things about your old life as you step into your new one. This was the first TikTok that I saw that inspired me to create this video.
Is anybody else starting over like me? Like, I went to school for 7 years, 4 years for my bachelor's, and then 3 years for a doctorate of physical therapy. And here I am, 35, completely trying to start over and do something else. Kind of crazy.
Literally said that's crazy. And it is. It is. I literally said that's crazy. And it is kind of crazy. There is nothing as scary as completely overhauling your life, completely doing something different, completely wanting different for yourself, completely shedding the life that you've always known and stepping into the unknown. And we'll talk about it. This is the next one that I saw, and I loved this one. I loved it.
Why is starting over so scary, especially the older we get? Well, I'm not exactly old, but I'm not young either. I recently had a breakup from my job, and it wasn't exactly mutual, but a part of me felt relieved, and then guilt for the relief. It's a mixed bag. I'd only ever known this path, building who I am at work, and if no one said anything, I would have done this forever. But I always felt in my heart of hearts, I could be someone else. Maybe a storyteller, a teacher, or maybe just someone who loves to cook. But my past self would never let me, and maybe it's time to let her go. Because how rare is it to find yourself at a crossroads and have the privilege to choose your own adventure? I mean, it's terrifying to lose everything you've ever built for yourself. But once you do, like truly do, I think it's only up from here. This week I started design school. Did you know that every part of these letters have a name? It's called the anatomy of type. I have no background in art whatsoever, and I thought it was too late for me, but I think too late is just what someone decides. And since I'm deciding, I guess it's not too late to start.
That is beautiful. One of the biggest things that stood out for me in that video is I need you to remember that starting over is a privilege. To many of us, being in a position where you can start over again and completely reinvent your life is a privilege that many do not have. Sometimes people find themselves having to contend with life and responsibilities and children and having to pay bills and all of that, that there is a fear in completely redefining your life because you do not know whether this new reinvention of your life or this new version of you is going to be successful, or whether it's going to do well, or whether it's going to help you pay your bills. You do not know if you are going to quit school, that you are going to start a new career path or start a new field of study. You do not know how you're going to do. So it is entirely a big privilege for some people to be able to completely redefine their life and change it altogether and start something new. It is a privilege that many do not have, but it is also something that is so building and developing, and it's a challenge, right? When you redefine your life or you change up your life, overhaul it, it is a challenge. And I view challenges as a way in which to get over onto the other side. I don't see a challenge as an obstacle. More than anything, I see a challenge as an opportunity for me to do things differently, an opportunity for me to test myself, right? An opportunity to see if this is something that I'm capable of doing, rather than seeing it as something that is going to block me or my success or block my growth in any way, shape, or form. That's something that is called, in the coaching space, it's called positive growth mindset, right? So you don't see your life as or the things that happen in your life, the bad things, the breakup, the career that is failing, the changing of your studies. You don't see that as a obstacle. More than anything, you see it as an opportunity to do things differently, and you see that as a good thing, right? It's a challenge. It's a good thing. And I think that we need to, a lot needs to be said about how society has made it so difficult for us to view changing and starting over as a good thing, right? More than anything, if somebody starts over, it's often viewed as, oh, well, you failed at something. Maybe you didn't fail at something, right? Maybe you didn't fail. Maybe you thought that this is not what I want to do with myself or with my life, or this is not the path that I want to go down anymore. You chose to see this opportunity as a way in which you can not only reinvent yourself, but you chose this opportunity because you chose yourself. right? You chose to let go of something that was no longer serving you. And because of that, you chose to step into the unknown and do something that is going to scare you because you do not know the outcome of that thing. That is growth. That is challenging yourself. That is choosing yourself day in, day out. If you walk the line of choosing to let go of things that no longer serve you, that is growth. No matter who says what to you, I want you to always remember that. That is growth. I'm looking at my notes as I say this, so don't mind me, but I'm looking at my note. So you can redefine your life and you can redefine your success at 30 plus, at 35 plus, at 46 plus. People start new things at crazy ages and they manage to get successful while trying, right? One of the biggest things that I read recently was that Stephen from the Diary of a CEO, he was in the Forbes or the Times 100 most influential people. I think it's Times, I'm not sure. But he spoke about how the thing is you need to be able to be okay or be okay with being embarrassed. Especially when you start something, you need to be okay with being embarrassed. I don't know exactly how he said it, but I'll put it here. You need to be okay with embarrassment. And I can testify to this because I was terrified. When I went the life coaching route, I knew that people are going to say, but it's life coaching. What? I don't know. Are you even qualified? Are you even whatever? I was so afraid of the judgments that I would get. Even when I chose to go to school for it, and I knew that I'm not going to coach somebody on mindset and personal development when I haven't gone to school for it. How am I going to know? I would never throw out words like positive growth mindset and SMART goals and this without having gone to school to study for that, right? But I was so afraid. I was filled with such a sense of fear that what are people going to say? I was embarrassed to start when I started shooting my videos for, my TikTok page and all of this. I was terrified at how they would be received. But I thought to myself, I would rather be terrified and try, embarrassed and try, than not try at all. And that became in 1 year my fastest growing platform, and that became in 1 year, when I started the TikToks and the videos, that became my fastest growing platform. But because of it, it's gotten me so much work in terms of speaking, in terms of clients, in terms of all of this, and I've grown from it. You need to shed this embarrassment of starting over and the shame that society has placed on people who choose to start over. As if, society pushes a certain timeline. By 25, you must be married. By 30, you must have maybe 2 kids, But the reality is, for so many of us, success isn't linear. It's not going to look the same, right? Some people are going to be very successful at 25, and some people are going to reach their success at 50. And they're going to do really well, right? Some people are going to peak at their success at 28. And now they can't go above that, right? They've exhausted their mode of success, whatever you want to call it. So success isn't linear. It's not the same for everybody. And it changes. You can be successful now, and then it kind of wanes, and then you go another direction, and then become successful again at 45. And that is okay. And I think social media is one of the platforms that has made comparison the thief of growth and joy. Like, we're constantly feeling like we need to compare ourselves to other people, right? To other social media content creators. It makes it seem like everybody seems to have all of it figured out, when that is entirely not the case. People are still day to day trying to figure it out. They're just doing it quietly. While they try to rebuild and reinvent themselves and change over their lives completely, they are still going ahead and trying to figure it out on the sides. That's why I always say that, just because somebody is your parent and they are in their 50s or their 60s, you go to them. It doesn't necessarily mean that they have all the answers because they're older. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're full of wisdom because they're older. Sometimes they also don't know the answers. And I've been so lucky to have a father who tells me straight up when he doesn't know. Like, he will actually say, I don't know. He will advise where he can, but it's his advice is not gold. I need to also take it with discernment and be like, I'm not going to do that. He might say that, but I'm not going to do that, But it's one of those things. Or whether he'll say something, I'll be like, man, he's out of his mind. I'm not going to, no. What is he even saying, bro? You know what I'm saying? You take it with discernment, because it doesn't mean that people have it figured out, right? But starting over, like I say, it's a growth period. It is not failure. Starting over doesn't mean you failed at something. Starting over means you chose yourself and you chose to do it again, and you chose to figure it out yourself. You chose to figure it out by taking a different path, and that is okay. That is okay. I've taken different paths in my life. Woo! When I tell you about some of the things that I'm qualified in, that I'm not doing anything with, some of my degrees, I'm figuring it out. I don't have the answers even at 38. I don't have the answers. There are things that you're going to know, and there are things that you're not going to know, and that is okay. When you are starting from scratch, especially when you are, I like to say maybe between 33, 35, you're not starting over from nothing. You're starting over from experience. You are starting over from growth. You are starting over by knowing that you have a little bit more wisdom when it comes to certain things, or you have a lot more resilience when it comes to certain things, right? You've picked up the patterns in your relationships. You're starting over. You're going to do things differently, right? You've got the experience, or you've picked up that this job is not for you. You're starting over, but now you know that there are certain things that you want to pursue even more, with more vigor and more intensity, or things like that. That is okay. It's okay for you to do that. You're not starting over from nothing. You're starting over from wisdom, growth, and experience, and that is okay. That's a great starting point. So, you don't need to, I really feel like you don't need to stick to one identity. I feel like people go throughout their life saying that I'm going to be a doctor and that's it. And I love where we are in the period in our lives where we are at now, where we realize that shifting identities is a normal thing. You can have multiple identities. I mean, not DID, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking about how you can have multiple identities. You can show up as a content creator and be funny and do this and blah, 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 but also be a project manager, right? Also be a business manager. Me, also be a founder of a company that has to do with mindset and personal development coaching. Me, you can have different identities, and that's okay. And it's okay to show up as different identities in all parts of your life, in all parts of your world. It is okay. Just because you're a doctor doesn't mean that you can't go onto TikTok and create funny skits, right? Just because you are an engineer doesn't mean that you can't go out in life and become a painter or a sculptor. You can do all those things at once, and you can enjoy your life throughout it. There's various aspects of your life that will be filled because of that, because of what you're doing. Do you hear my chat? I feel like I'm spitting right now. I'm going. Let go of the comparison. Let go of all these things that make you feel a sense of shame around starting over, or a sense of fear. Fear is normal when you're starting over. It is. Fear in love, fear in profession, fear in whatever it is, whichever part of your life you're starting over in, it's okay. but you're healing and you are rebuilding. And that is okay. You know, sometimes the starting over will come from a bad period, right? A loss, a type of grief, right? A breakup, a divorce, that kind of thing, or a failed venture. Maybe you tried a certain job and it didn't work out, or you started a certain company and it didn't work out. That is fine. But it doesn't really define who you are. It's not identity bearing. More than anything, it just becomes part of your story. It becomes part of your experience. It becomes part of your life, right? This is going to be a great story that you're going to tell your partner one day or your children one day. It's going to be a great story. Do you believe, babies, that mommy was once a baker and I had a bakery? What? Mom, you lying. You are the CEO of a Fortune 500 company. What do you mean you are a baker? What a story, right? What a story. It's your experience, right? It's not failure. It's just part of your story. You know, I really wanted you to think about that and remember that. The next time you find yourself in a space where you're starting over, or if you have a friend or a family member who is in a place in their lives where they're starting over, I'd love you to send them this video so that they can watch it. I'd love for you to send them this video so that they can watch it. Life is not a race. There's no shame in starting over. There's no shame in rebranding, reinventing, and rebuilding. It is okay. The only shame, I think, for me would be choosing to stay stuck in a space that doesn't benefit you or serve you in any way, shape, or form. So it's okay to start over. I'm going to end it off with this video right here because this lady, let me tell you, she had me. She's in her 50s and she said, listen. So we're going to listen.
I'm 54 and I'm going to tell you what nobody told me when I was 30 years old, but I wish they would have. You're not behind. You're just exhausted from holding everything up by yourself. You don't have to earn rest. You don't have to apologize for wanting more. And you're not too late. You're just getting started. Stop waiting for permission to change your life. You don't need it. Some people won't make it into your next season, and that's okay. You can change your life radically in 5 years, but it starts with telling yourself the truth now. You can grieve the life you thought you would have and still build something better. God's not done with you. He's about to reroute everything. Take the trip. Leave the man. Wear the damn dress. You're still beautiful. You always were, even when you didn't believe it. Let the friendships fade. Let your body change. Let your priorities shift. That's not failure. That's becoming. And one more thing, that little voice inside of you that says, there has to be more. She's right. Just wait, sis. Your future self is gonna blow your mind. Hope that helps.
How does that not give you goosebumps? You hear what I'm saying? How does that not give you goosebumps? So it's okay. It's okay to start over. I'll just hit my knee and I've got knee problems. Okay. So it's okay to start over. It's okay to redefine yourself. It's okay to reinvent yourself. There's no shame in starting over. Do the things that you want to do. Dance in the rain. Start your own business. Start your own company. Go back to school. Do whatever it is that you need to do. Leave the relationship that is no longer serving you. Start a new one. It's okay to change your life up as you go and figure it out along the way. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like, thumbs it up. I don't know what to say anymore. I've been filming all day. Thumbs it up, give it a like, subscribe, definitely watch the ads. And if you did like this video and if you feel like there is somebody who could benefit from this video, please send them the link to this video. Share this video, put it up on your TikToks, Instagram, do whatever you need to do so that somebody can benefit from this. There's no shame in starting afresh. There's no shame in starting over. You just need to want to start. I'll see you in the next video. Sayonara.